On the New Music, Part 3. The Mother is with us in the Om Choir. She is seen by a few, felt by many. Her presence inspires and uplifts our voices as our song rises to her. Those who join us are moved by the intense beauty and harmony they feel. One member of the choir exclaimed, "The music sings you." Another disciple told me, "I had never sung before, but suddenly felt the Om rising in me, and I was singing." And yet another, one of the finest musicians in the ashram, spoke in reverent tones his awe at hearing sounds, celestial sounds, that in all his years of listening to and studying music, he has never heard before. Dr. Vishwa, in his 91st year, joined us one evening a week or so before Mother's birthday in 2005 and exclaimed, "Divine music. Hearts touched by thy love shall answer to my call. Discover the ancient music of the spheres. In the revealing accents of thy voice, and nearer draw to me, because thou art." An Om choir has been formed in Oroville, and all have experienced a profound peace in the atmosphere of Savitri Bhavan, one of the great lights in Oroville, charged with the Mother's grace. Many members of the Om choir in the ashram came to inaugurate the Oroville Om choir and now attend as often as possible. Orovillians also make the journey from Oroville each week at 7 p.m. to join their voices in divine concord in the ashram school. I caught the echoes of a word supreme and metered the rhythm beats of infinity and listened through music for the eternal voice. When I was a young man studying for the Metropolitan Opera, under a scholarship from the great mezzo-soprano actress Regina Resnick, I attended as many concerts each week as my college schedule would allow. Once, after a performance in New York City of the Concordia Choir, a choir under the direction of one of the world's finest choral conductors, I met the conductor, Paul Christiansen. After the concert, I approached this tall, dignified man and asked him the secret of his perfection with such young singers. He leaned down to me with a smile and said, "You see, it is simply a question of paring away all the crud to get at the essence." These words have remained with me all these years as the key to the inner dimensions of harmonic sound. a friend who attended the yearly summer workshops for choir directors given by Mr. Chris Johnson, told me that he would conduct a choir of choir directors from all parts of the U.S., and there were times when the music was of such beauty and perfection that these seasoned adults would break down in tears, and often it would be 10 minutes before they could absorb the experience and continue. A climber on the invisible stair of sound, music not with these few and striving steps, aspired that wander upon transient strings, but changed its ever new, uncounted notes in a passion of unforeseeing discovery, and kept its old, unforgotten ecstasies, a growing treasure in the mystic heart. We take as a thematic inspiration each week lines from Savitri or words of the Mother and Sri Aurobindo. All are invited to join the ashram and Oroville Om choirs, and no previous training is necessary or required. The only criteria being an intense inner aspiration for the descent of the new music of truth and light and divine love. Earth is the chosen place of mightiest souls. Earth is the heroic spirit's battlefield, the forge where the archmason shapes his works. Thy servitudes on earth are greater, King, than all the glorious liberties of heaven. The heavens were once to me my natural home. I too have wandered in star-jeweled groves, paced sun-gold pastures and moon-silver swards, and heard the harping laughter of their streams, and lingered under branches dropping myrrh. I too have reveled in the fields of light, touched by the ethereal raiment of the winds. Thy wonder rounds of music I have trod, lived in the rhyme of bright, unlaboring thoughts. I have beat swift harmonies of rapture vast, danced in spontaneous measures of the soul, the great and easy dances of the gods. I am always available to assist in beginning new Om choirs throughout the world. In addition to the Om choirs and our prayers for the new music, I would encourage all composers who are devoted to Mother and Sri Aurobindo to begin a new approach to composition by taking a few lines of Mother's organ music, and from the powerful seed sounds she has given us, use these rhythms and melodies as a base for compositions that will have the power to lift us to the heights and act as the medium through which the true music of the new age will sound in all who are called to their vision. The measure of that subtle music ceased. Down with a hurried, swimming, floating lapse, through unseen worlds and bottomless spaces forced, sank like a star the soul of Savitri. Amidst a laughter of unearthly lyres, she heard around her nameless voices cry, triumphing, an innumerable sound. A choir of rushing winds to meet her came. Ecstatic voices smote at hearing's chords. Each movement found a music all its own. Songs thrilled of birds upon unfading boughs, the colors of whose plumage had been caught from the rainbow of imagination's wings. The mother is asked the following. On Sundays when you play, do you decide beforehand from what region the music has to come? Mother says, I? Question. From where does it come? Mother. Before sitting down, I don't even know what notes I am going to play. Before sitting down, I don't even know what notes I am going to play. But I do not at all know what will come. Nothing at all. Nothing. I don't even decide what feeling or idea or state of consciousness is going to be expressed. Nothing. The mother speaks about music. For example, there are regions, harmonious and musical, in which one hears something which is the origin of the music we have here. But the sounds of material, physical music seem absolutely barbaric in comparison with that music. When one has heard that, even the most perfect instrument is inadequate. All constructed instruments, among which the violin certainly has the purest sound, are very much inferior in their expression to the music of this world of harmonies. The human voice, when absolutely pure, is of all instruments the one which expresses it best. But it has a sound which seems so harsh, so gross compared with that. When one has been in that region, one truly knows what music is. And it has so perfect a clarity that at the same time as the sound, one has the full understanding of what is said. That is, one has the principle of the idea, without words, simply with the sound and all the inflections of one can't call it sensations nor feelings. What seems to be closest would be some kind of soul states or states of consciousness. All these inflections are clearly perceptible through the nuances of the sound. And certainly, those who are great musicians, geniuses from the point of view of music, must have been more or less consciously in contact with that. The mother. To hear behind the sound is to come into contact with a subtle reality which is behind the material fact, behind the word or the physical sound, or behind music, for example. One concentrates, and then one hears what is behind. It means coming into contact with the vital reality which is behind the appearances. What a happy day it will be when poetry, painting, and music express only beauty, victory, and joy, leading the way towards the realization of the future, towards the advent of a world in which falsehood and suffering, ugliness, and death will be no more. The Mother on Education, page 456. Lastly, a poem that came to me in 2005. Music of the Purified Heart. 1,000 lyrics cry out for the song that lies unsung upon the lips of man, melodies of soul for which we long, and poetry unheard since time began. An impress of divinity we feel, and sometimes glimpse in rare refracted light a splendor that on the spirit seems to steal and lift the opaque curtain of the night. Greed still holds the world and us in thrall. Desire captivates our hearts, and more often leads the spirit to its fall, and the progress of the body we ignore. The intimate, supreme felicity, who sits within and still cannot be found, eludes us by his sheer proximity, till silence reigns on consecrated ground. But now the moment comes, the voice is heard, that counsels us to find the secret cave, the sacred Om, first and final word, where dwells the light the unborn spirit gave, shedding ego's hard and brilliant mask, conscious walk again the upward way, resume the inward quest, the age-old task, transforming life, man's debt to God repay. I pray for a time in the not too distant future when Om choirs throughout the world will chant their prayer to the divine. This is offered to the Mother and Sri Aurobindo in gratitude for the countless blessings they have bestowed on us, for the music of love and beauty they have given us, and the divine music still to come in the dawn of the Golden Age.